everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn. We're coming to you live from Yavapai College Sedona campus, and would like to thank our sponsors, Northern Arizona Healthcare. And joining me are two filmmakers, Marchelle and Casey, from your film
BlackLi.
And the Grays.
Awesome.
We didn't prep that.
Yeah.
Well, you look wonderful. Thank you for being here and coming to Sedona.
Yes, thank you for having us.
And this is your first time?
Yes. I left the hotel room. My friend said I looked like Johnny Cash. Wearing all black.
All black.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your film.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go, Casey.
Our movie is about an interracial couple going through a divorce and forced to quarantine together through COVID and the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay. Isn't that the title of a book? I think it's the title of a book.
You know what? It is the title of a book. I believe it's called Black, White, and the Gray, because someone I talked to mentioned it, but that is about actually a restaurant that is in Savannah. It's called The Gray,
Yes.
and it kind of talks about, I think it's an interracial, I think it's a white man and a black woman, and the black woman is the chef. And yeah, it's called Black, White, and the Gray, but no relation.
Connection.
Yeah, no connection.
I had no idea.
But I've been to the Gray in Savannah, and it's very good. So
Oh my goodness.
it's a very,
See?
shout out.
Yeah, because when I first saw the title of it, I was wondering if there was a relation to it.
Yeah, no relation at all.
Okay.
Our couple name is Caleb and Jordy Gray, so it's kind of a play on that Black, White, and the Grays.
Yeah.
So.
Great. And where did the concept come from? I know you just mentioned that, but talk a little bit more in detail about the concept of the film.
Yeah, so we had a mutual friend that was going through a divorce, and a lot of the elements that are in the movie were kind of inspired by him, and also just a lot of conversations that we were hearing from friends, just overhearing walking down the street. So that was a lot of our inspiration, our friends, and just hearing random people's conversations.
Yeah, our mutual friend, I won't say his name because I don't want to throw him under the bus, but his lawyer told him not to leave the house because his wife could say you can't come back in because of COVID, or he could be considered an absentee father. So he literally was forced to quarantine with his wife and daughter as they were going through a divorce. And I thought, wow, that's such an interesting concept. And then I called her up and I said, what if we wrote a story that we made it an interracial couple? And like she said, I grew up in the South, and then I lived in LA for 17 years, so I was hearing the LA perspective on things, and I was hearing the Southern, more conservative aspect of things, and I was like, it was so interesting to me that people could see the same video on YouTube, or they could watch the same interview by a president and have such different reactions to it. And I was like, we just started interviewing people and listening, and I got to a point where my friends were like, are you recording this conversation? I was like, I kind of am mentally, because this is interesting. This could go in the film.
Right.
And if you watch the film, I think we did a good job of making the dialogue very naturalistic, because literally there were times where it was just a real conversation that we witnessed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and we do have a trailer of the film, so let's
Great.
take a look at that, and we'll talk some more when we come back on.
Great.
I take my daughter to the pool, and the looks we get. And my husband, he has no idea. I have been complacent my whole life.
Rockin' Robin, 'cause we really gonna rock tonight.
The plane from Kahn, China.
South Carolina registering its highest single-day total.
There are thousands of people dying of this virus.
A quarantine and BLM, it's forcing people to have conversations that they were not prepared to have.
I'm a black woman, and you're married to me. And you supposedly love me.
I supposedly
and you can't
love
get
you.
behind this cause?
Where's the day gone?
It's not like when I turn this off, this all just magically goes away.
Where is the sun?
This is our reality.
Who is this person?
What's going on?
Things are just weird right now.
That I have become.
We are living in the weirdest time ever.
Up until recently, our daughter had no concept of black and white. Let her be a little girl.
Stand in the doorway, stare at the sign.
I feel like my entire marriage is falling apart right in front of me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Sometimes arguing is healthy. It's necessary, it's messy, it's uncomfortable.
I don't want to lose my family.
I washed your body down, your muddy feet up to your crown.
My dad used to always say, pay attention to who you're with when you're feeling your best.
Above the tree,
You make me pay attention, you make me feel my best.
above the tree.
People have the right to change, Caleb.
You said yes! You said yes!
You're passionate and you're honest. And I will love you the rest of my life.
Tearing up, that's the
I know.
first time I've watched it on a big screen like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me proud.
You should be really proud. I mean, it's amazing. And you know, the point that you brought up in the film, like, and I got goosebumps, it was the fact that you mentioned of a child not knowing really the difference, and now all of a sudden, why can't you let them be a child? Mm-hmm. And you know, I had this conversation with somebody the other night too about, all of this, and for me, it's difficult. Like, I feel like, when are we going, like, you take 5 steps ahead and 3 steps back. Like, I keep feeling like, you know, is it ever really going to change? Yeah. And when we try to change, you know, our young, to not see the difference, it's still there, right?
Yeah, it's it's tough. I'm not a mother, I don't have a child, but I just know that it's tough, you know? Like, you want them to be able to not be able to ever worry about that. But eventually that Band-Aid is going to be ripped off, and you hope that it's, you know, when they're a lot older, but it's tough, and especially having, like, you know, a biracial child that we had in the movie and in fake life. Yeah, it's tough, and her just seeing, you know, people arguing and with COVID and all of that, it's a lot for a child. So, but she was wonderful.
She was wonderful, and if you think about it, my friends that have young children, 4 or 5 years old, they've spent half of their lives in a pandemic, and it's just, if you think about it like that, they've literally spent half of their entire life wearing masks and locked in a house, and that affects you. Mm-hmm. That affects you.
Definitely does.
Definitely emotionally. How has this film changed you in any way?
In many ways. I'll let her start. I'm going gray, and I lost some of my hair. We should call black, white, and the going gray.
Right.
Or bald.
Right. Well, hopefully not. I guess I got head of hair. No, we've both been actors for a very long time, and writers, but this is our first directing project, and I think for me personally, it was scary. Directing a feature is a lot, but I'm so glad that I was able to have Casey with me doing this together. But it's so much work being a filmmaker. I don't think I've worked as hard on anything in my entire life, and we're still working on it.
It's never over.
I was working on stuff before I got to this interview.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's been so rewarding, and I think it's having, you know, the faith in yourself that you can do it. Something that seems impossible when we first talked about it, to be here, like, kind of gives me chills. It's amazing. So I think it's just having faith in yourself and surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
I think that is, you have to have a good team, or else you're gonna, it's just not gonna work. It's gonna be bad. So, yeah.
I was a distance runner in my youth. I ran at University of Georgia, and I would compare it to being a marathon runner. Like, it's really hard to train, and it's really hard to run and compete in a marathon, and then when you're done with it, it's the most rewarding thing ever. So that's what it's been like for me. It's just, if you look and you're like, I've got to train for 6 months or a year, and then I've got to run 26 miles through New York City or whatever, that seems impossible. But if you just wake up and do a little bit one day at a time, I wouldn't change anything, and I want to do it again tomorrow. Like, I would start tomorrow and do it again. And I'll say, we didn't really have intentions of directing this. We wrote this to write and produce and create opportunities as actors. And then our producer, Jay Jablonski, who's been amazing, and he actually plays my best friend in the movie. I wrote a part for him. We both kind of came to the decision that you guys should direct it too. And in my opinion, while everyone else, and this is kind of the story behind the story, in my opinion, while everyone else was kind of shaming each other on social media and the country was so divided and people were rioting and protesting, I thought it would be interesting if a white man and a black woman locked arms and made a piece of art together.
Yes.
So that was our goal behind the story.
Yeah. Awesome, and especially coming from the South. I mean, I know what that's like. I lived in North Carolina for a long time, so it's very different.
Yeah, and we filmed it in Atlanta. It takes place in Atlanta, so yeah, there's a lot of different things intersecting in Atlanta right now. So I thought it was a good place to have it placed and filmed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And there were actually some deleted scenes where we made more commentary about living in the South, and Stone Mountain has Confederate, a giant 900-foot Confederate monument, and some of those scenes actually, I think in post-production got a little heavy-handed, so we had to kind of cut. But there was a lot more reference to living in the South, but we kind of made it more of a neutral. It could be anywhere, anywhere USA.
Yeah. And is it the first time that it's being screened here in Sedona?
Yeah.
On the big screen, so you're going to see it even bigger.
And actually, it's probably 11 o'clock right now. It premieres in 2 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone come and see it.
Yeah, please come see it.
And bring tissues.
Yeah.
I think it's a tearjerker. I told her from day one, my goal, if I ever write or make a movie, is I want to see people laugh and I want to see people cry, and I think there's a lot of that, both of those in the film, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. So where is the film being shown in Sedona?
It is at the Mary D. Fisher Theater. I got it right.
I'm glad she got it right, because there's so many. I'm like, Sedona
the Mary
Arts
D.
Performing.
Fisher Theater at 1 p.m. today, the 26th of February.
Awesome. Yay. And how can people find out about your film?
We have our website, blackwhiteandthegrays.com. That is up and live. We have our Instagram, Black, White, and the Grays. And those are, I think, the two things that people can find us.
And it's Grays with an E, Greys.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, I can't wait to hear audience reaction, and I know I'll see you later on tonight.
Yes.
So I can't wait to hear all about it.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
so nice
thank
to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to follow us and hashtag Sedona Film Fest 2022, and you'll find us on Facebook Live. So we will be back with more Sedona International Film Festival after this.